I want to talk about a sales principle that Alex Hormozi shared that regards to something that online course creators could leverage as well. So let's jump over to the iPad. And what I want to talk about here and what he presented was what the sales process looks like. Like, what's the difference between sales and closing? So drawing this out, this is also good practice for me in the iPad. So we have this line in the middle, and then on this side, on the left, we have sales, and on the right, we have closing. So sales and closing, what happens during the sales process and what separates the two? What separates the two is when the price is presented. So sales is everything that happens before the price is presented, and closing is everything that happens after the price is presented. So what the sales process looks like is you have prospects, which are people who are possibly or likely fitting the target market for your product. And then closing, I don't remember what the closing people are called, but we'll call them leads. So these are people you know would be good for we'll just call them leads. We'll say that these are the people who we know are good for our product and we need to overcome their objections, right? So leads have objections to buying. And so you're often going to need to address those objections, but prospects have obstacles. And what Alex talked about is that we want to overcome as many obstacles as possible in the sales process before the price is presented, because if we don't overcome those obstacles, once they turn into leads who know what the price of our product is, they're going to have objections. And so those objections are going to be obstacles, but they're going to be much scarier monster versions of those obstacles. So when we're in the process of sales, that's where we disagree with them, where we are trying to figure out, are you even a good fit at all? Like, I don't believe you're a good fit. I want to see the behaviors that show that you are a good fit. That's kind of what, as a business owner, we're thinking about. And then when it comes to closing, that's when that's my handwriting. This is when they disagree with us. So they have objections and they disagree with us, and we disagree with them at the point when we're dealing with obstacles. So recognizing what the pain points are for your customers, what the likely challenges are as to why they haven't solved the problem that your online course or membership has to solve already, is a part of the obstacles. And if we can solve as many of these obstacles before showing the price, and thus having our people become leads, and then having objections, the more we can solve the problems before the problems even arise in the first place. So thinking about something like an LMS website, how would we apply these principles to that? Because most LMS and membership websites are automatic, where people go to our website and they can see the price right there on the website. So how are we gonna hide the price for long enough to sell them? Like, how do we hide the price for long enough to where we have time to identify our prospects, identify their obstacles, and figure out whether we disagree with them or not before we present the price? Like, usually they just come to our website. We say, hey, I made a course, come look at it. They look at the price and they leave. And then they'll come up with a bunch of other objections as to why they're not going to move forward with it right now. And so how are we going to do this technically in like a WordPress or an LMS example? You sometimes see these principles when we have marketing related YouTube videos talking about our course membership, and then you click a link in the description and you get taken to another sales page, like a 30-minute video that you can't fast forward, and you have to watch the whole video before you can see the price or book the call. That's sort of attempting to do a sale before the price is even presented. So we're identifying the prospects, addressing the obstacles, and figuring out if they are going to stay to the end, to the point where they want to see the price. Then we know they're going to be a lead for us. And sometimes at that point, they don't even present the price. Sometimes at the end of that, I said 30-minute video, but let's say even at the end of that 5-minute video, you're asked to book a call. So I've been through this sales funnel before. When I was buying a program that averages $1,200 in sales, like the program was just $1,200. That was the only pricing option for like one-to-one coaching for like 3 months for like once a week. And so what the program looked like is I found the tutorial on YouTube. I clicked the link in the description. I watched the 5-minute video. I was still interested, so then I booked a call with this guy, and then he talked me through he was basically closing the sale of like figuring out if I would even be a good fit for the program at all. And then once he decided I was, then I became a lead. He asked if I had any objections, which he addressed most of the obstacles, so I didn't really have any objections. And then the sale was closed. And so he told me the number 1,200 before asking me for objections, but after he had already addressed my obstacles. So that's how you can do things like this in a coaching scenario. When it comes to online courses, you can do a similar thing where your YouTube conversions don't take, or the YouTube descriptions, or wherever you're doing Facebook ads, wherever you're marketing your content, tools like Lifter LMS and LearnDash and Tutor LMS, they take the price and they put it right on the course page. And you know, I could probably show this too. Why don't we jump out of the iPad and talk a little practically about how we would do this? Back to Alex. Let's go to, I'm going to pause the recording real quick. I'm going to pull up a WordPress site and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Username, password. Okay, so I'm going to use Lifter LMS as an example here. This concept applies to any LMS, anything you're selling online. So a lot of these course platforms are going to ask you to put your price right on the page. This is not a good example. Let's use this as an example. Here we go. Sign up now. So if we were to include a pricing option as a part of our paid offer, right, we would say payment $100. And there's a tactic there where you can say like, oh, sign up for the free course, take the free course, then you get access to the paid thing. That would be one way to do it. I don't understand why it's not showing up. Maybe I don't have a payment gateway enabled. That's probably what it is. Let's enable the manual gateway so that I can see my pricing, please. Okay, $100. So one tactic would be to have a free 3-lesson course or something. That way we're getting their email. We're seeing if they're still in this stage of, let's get out of here. We're still in the sales stage. When they sign up for our free course, they're still in the sales side of things. They don't even know the price of our paid programs yet, because instead of presenting them a paid offer, we could drop them into a free plan right here. So instead of adding $100, maybe you do want this to be free, but you wouldn't want it to be the full course. You would want it to just be 1 lesson or 3 lessons or something like that. And the action of having them sign up for the free program allows us to get their email, start to track their journey through our experience, right? Because when they're on YouTube, we don't really know their email. We don't know how to get in touch with them. They're just viewers or maybe subscribers. And then they click the link on our website and we have some Google Analytics data about them. Or if you're in Europe and you work with, or even if you're not in Europe, if you serve customers in Europe and you need to comply with GDPR and things like that, you don't even need to be collecting information to begin with from Google Analytics and stuff about like what the different IP addresses are doing on your website. So we really start to track the customer journey when they enroll in our free program, or when they opt in to watch the video or whatever, or get the PDF ebook download, whatever. We're still on the front of the sales process. If we give them a free PDF to work with, I don't like that because it sends them off the website. It asks them to like put a resource on your phone, download this PDF and like read it later. It's like, well, we want you to make a decision now. So I would much rather have people sign up for a free program on your website, or read a blog post or something. It could be a post. It doesn't have to be a course and then at the end of that blog post, a call to action is like, give us your email and sign up for the list or something. I don't need to talk about email lists right now and how much I'm not a super big fan of how a lot of people approach email lists, but email list is an option. It's an option I use because I just haven't put in the effort to change it yet. So if you're looking for low effort, email list is a good way to do it on the sales process. So, but recognizing that email list is where we are making the sales. It's where we have prospects and it's where we are addressing obstacles. We are addressing obstacles through that sales process before we show you the price. I think hiding the price is something that most course creators do not think about when it comes to sales. Is like, how can we obscure the price so that we can overcome obstacles before they see the price? Have a free course sign up, have an email list sign up, have some kind of engagement and commitment via like giving me your email or signing into the website and trialing a free course before they even know the price of the full program. And in those lead magnets, we're giving value. Like, you could just do the lead magnet, get value and leave. Like, if you felt like you got enough value, that's perfect. I'm out here to help people with learning with whatever course or membership I'm teaching. And if you got enough value, I'm happy to have worked with you, and you walk away at the price, that's all good. But now that we have our prospects who have given us their email, they're definitely qualified because they have gone over a lot of the obstacles that we've been addressing. They've been qualifying themselves enough to sign up for our free course, enough to sign up for our email list. And now we can start presenting the prices and figuring out how we can get the objections from there. One of the reasons I don't like email lists is because it asks you to go to Gmail. It's like, oh, you're on magicwillmiddleton.com. Now I want you to leave and go to Gmail. It's like, no, I want you to stay on my website. I don't want you to go to Gmail. I don't want you to download a PDF to your downloads and then get on the bus. Like, I want you to stay on the website. I want you to sign up for the course. I want you to read the document on the website. I want you to get used to coming to my website for information about this topic. And that's why I have courses and memberships here. I don't like the email list setup. It also makes it pretty easy for people to like stop thinking about you, right? It's like if people sign up for an email list and then leave because they got whatever they gave you the email, you give them whatever you said you give them in exchange for the email, and now they're gone, and then you knock on their door again because you know their email now. You go into their inbox and you're like, hey, by the way, it's me again. Remember you downloaded my thing? You downloaded the ebook? You signed up for the free course? Remember me? I'm ready to tell you about the price now. It's like, that's such an awkward interaction. And so as much as you can keep that on the website with as much immediacy as possible, I really encourage you to do so. And if you start taking responsibility for the follow-up in these interactions, you're going to have to do a lot of hustling to get sales. A lot of course creators and membership site owners think about like, I want to create something passive. I want to go to the beach and have my money roll in. It's like, do you really think that like having responsibility over the interaction with your clients, it like being proactive in that interaction, is going to be how you close passive sales? Like, that's a very active approach, and I'm not opposed to active approaches. Like, if you're trying to sell premium coaching, like that guy who I bought $1,200 program from, who had YouTube video to 5-minute qualifying video to book a Calendly, talk to me directly. If you're doing that, good for you. You're going to sign up to your computer every day, talk with your customers. That's perfect. I think that's awesome. That's exactly what I do in my business because I like engaging with this stuff every day. But some people say, I want it to be passive. And if you want it to be passive, you have to leverage the passive approaches by having your customers take responsibility over the interactions, by not having to like follow up with them all the time and design extremely complex email sequences over the course of multiple years to be like, oh, I sent you an email day 1, an email day 2, an email day 3, an email week 2, week 4, and then it drips out to like 1 month, 3 months, 1 year, you know. I don't want to take responsibility over having you on my email list if you're not interested in my product. And I understand that people sometimes take a long time to get involved with sales cycles. Like certain products have long sales cycles to where someone might need to get involved with your funnel early on in the process, like in their journey of exploring. Let's just say, I like chiropractics as an example. Let's just say we're talking about a chiropractic program. Someone like me looks up on YouTube, how do I unlock my back? Like, you know, I'm trying to like pop certain parts of my back, and I learned that I could put 2 tennis balls in a sock and then like kind of roll over it. And that's like how I enter somebody's funnel. Because I watch a YouTube video and I'm like, oh, I wonder what other kind of cool chiropractic moves I can do on myself to break my back. And like maybe there's like a free course about like daily stretching or something that I sign up for with them. And now they have my email, and they have the option now that they have my email, they can follow up with me and they can bother me about like, hey, guess what? We're doing a program next month, and this program is going to be about how to, what would chiropractic people talk about? I don't know, how to move your shoulders, how to never have your back ache again. Sure, that's the program we're going to run a month from now. Here's the deal, you should buy it. Go ahead. That's like the email they send me after like I looked at the YouTube video, signed up for their list or their course or whatever, and then I get that email. It's like, okay, so now I'm in the user experience where I believe that this company is going to do the follow-up with me. They are the ones now responsible for closing me on buying their product, because I know they're emailing me. I know they're trying to send me offers. And so if I open their emails and I decide that this email is not very engaging for me, I'm going to throw it in the trash. And that's not the worst thing that even happens. Marking the messages spam isn't even the worst thing that happens. I think the worst thing that happens in this interaction is that I lose respect subconsciously, not even consciously, for their brand. It's like, it's not even conscious where I'm like, you sent me an email that I didn't resonate with. I didn't really like that offer. It's not the right time for me. I don't respect you. It's not like that. It's just kind of a subtle thing of like, oh, this company has a habit of sending me things I think are useless. Like that's the feeling. And then the company does get some conversions on their email list. They get their above average open rate. If we say 20% open rate is average, they're getting 25 to 40% open rates. They're getting their 3 to 5% conversions on click-through rate, and then their closing rates are normal and whatever. It's like they learn to then rely on email as a source of closing and believe that leaning into email and leaning up into manually creating automatic processes are going to be the best way to do things. And I don't think they're a bad way to do things. I think they're a way to do things that's okay, but I feel like I'm just disconnecting from email. I think a lot of people are disconnecting from email from 2010 to like 2024 when people are sending like a lot of emails. And I think getting in the habit of sending people garbage isn't really, I don't say garbage, just things that they don't want. Getting in the habit of sending people things that they don't want isn't really what I want to be in the business of doing. So when it comes to how we're designing our WordPress site and how we are presenting prices to our clients, what we do before we present the price and what we do after we present the price. How do we approach prospects and leads differently? How do we approach prospects approach prospects by addressing obstacles, and how do we approach leads by addressing objections? How do we get as many obstacles solved before we present the price? And then what do we do about handling objections after we present the price and we know that this person is a good fit for our program? Just want to plant these as seeds in your brain about thinking in terms of selling online courses, some in-depth strategy behind thinking about when we present the price. Super important to consider. My name is Will Middleton from WPCourseGuide.com.